What is it? What is the movie about?
Hello everyone, welcome to Talk of the Hamptons.
So it's actually a musical version of the movie Scream.
I think I have the wrong number. The Woodsboro Murders, 100% cotton.
Give it to me, baby!
So it's kind of like a crossover between Dear Evan Hansen and Phantom of the Opera.
I do neckties and a nightshirt and a nose.
Please,
I don't want to do the commandments.
Okay.
I'm not moving to Quag. It was a bedroom. What the? Excuse me? It was a bedroom with a shared bathroom.
That's funny. That's funny.
I actually haven't even really looked into any of the stats or the reaction, but it feels great. This is it's been such a journey and such a process, and we premiered the film last year at the Hamptons Film Festival, and we had two theatrical screenings that weekend, and it was primarily friends and family of mine and also people from the community. So that was my first time seeing people react to it, and the reaction was great, but of course it was a reaction from people who knew me personally or knew the area. So I've been sort of anxious since then to see how the film will resonate with people outside of this area and also people who don't know me personally. And so it's very rewarding to see that people are enjoying it. So I'm very, very happy with the response. Certainly an exaggerated version of me. There are certain mannerisms, I guess, that Sam, the real Sam, kind of uses and whatnot. But all of the actions that this character takes and all of the ways that he operates are quite different than who I really am. And the character itself is sort of like a combination of all of these, archetypes that I've seen kind of portrayed throughout the course of my life, whether it's like a Valerie Cherish from The Comeback, or, even like a Larry David kind of character. There's like little bits of inspiration from all of those kind of quirky, offbeat, delusional, egomaniacal characters that I incorporated into this. Like, we always wanted the character to have some sort of redeeming quality so that the audience, could root for him a little bit. And I think that because the character is so self-absorbed and, brash, I think he could have easily become very unlikable and polarizing. And that's not like what we wanted the audience to feel. We wanted the audience to find him kind of insufferable, but also like amusing and likable to some degree. So I'm happy to hear that you felt that way, because we did incorporate these little moments where you might at least feel some sort of sympathy for him, therefore making him kind of likable. I mean, entirely improvised, I would say. I mean, like, we did not have one single page of a script, like nothing for anyone to reference in the scenes. I personally had lines scripted or certain jokes that I would hope to incorporate. But it was always kind of dependent upon, what the other actors kind of gave me in those scenes. And a lot of that material actually didn't end up in the film, which was the kind of the most challenging part, was the editing, where like a lot of the stuff I had scripted, a lot of the jokes, unfortunately, like when we were piecing together the story, they were funny, but they just didn't really serve the plot. So they had to go. And of course we had like the narrative structure, which did evolve over time. Like when we started, Ruby was not meant to become like such a central nemesis. She wasn't meant to die. That kind of took shape over the course of filming. And within each scene, we had like a direction, so to speak. We had like an intention anyway. Like, this is what we want to communicate with this scene. This is what we need to say and do to connect it to this and that, and then drive the whole thing forward. But we really didn't have anything scripted. I mean, I had watched The Office and Curb, and had seen, the Christopher Guest films, but didn't really like use those as a reference initially. The bigger reference for me was The Comeback, the HBO show with Lisa Kudrow, because I felt like my character was similar to hers in a way of just like this like desperate quest for like fame and or recognition in the entertainment space. But also just based on like the resources we had and like the equipment we had, we knew that like the production value couldn't be, we couldn't reach a certain level of production value. So we had to kind of scale that down. And therefore the mockumentary format would allow for that while still, serving the plot. It originated with Scream. So the real backstory is that my co-director and I were pitching ideas to Paramount in 2021, ideas to promote then Scream 5. So we developed this idea that was connected to the Scream world. And then once we filmed this little fake trailer proof of concept, we realized that we had, I think, like the potential to expand upon the Scream element and really make it more of a character piece about Sam and the Hamptons. So that's why the Scream of it all kind of serves as like a foundation, but it evolves way beyond that. We had to like eliminate the musical because we couldn't stage a real musical. We had no real music written. We didn't have, the time or the resources to put on a stage, play or musical. So we knew we had to get rid of the musical, but still, keep this character motivated and like working towards some sort of big climax spectacle. So we thought, let's, then really break the fourth wall and make it about the film within the film, which is also like a reference and a nod to Scream, this kind of meta, element. Yes, those were like kind of a Hail Mary when we were editing the film. We actually we took a totally different approach during production, and we filmed like talking head interviews with many of the characters in the film. And we were intending to use those as like the connective tissue to kind of explain or like fill in the gaps between the scenes. And then we played around with it and realized this just doesn't work. It's just like, there's already so much talking in the film and it's dialogue heavy that like, it's nice to have a little break. And we just couldn't summarize things as quickly as we could with just text on screen. It just seemed like the cleanest, easiest method. Yeah, so Ruby and I met, many of the actors were in this improv class that we had taken a few years ago at this Bay Street Theater. So I knew Ruby, and I knew just from working with her in that class how funny and unexpectedly kind of, outrageous she could be. So we of course wanted to include her, and then just like in the first few scenes we shot with her improv was just so hilarious, and we felt we wanted the character of Sam to have like a real kind of conflict throughout, something that could build towards this outrageous climax. And she just seemed like the perfect, yet the most unexpected like adversary for this kind of young man to have would be this older woman. It just seemed like inherently kind of absurd and funny. And so we just kind of let that evolve, and we filmed even more scenes than we included with her, but we felt that ultimately her death was, you know, the climax that the film needed. Yeah, to also make it more aligned with Scream and make it like sort of a murder mystery whodunit. So it served multiple purposes. Well, the Gale weather, keep Gale's name out of your mouth was definitely like something we prepared. And that's like one of the lines, for example, that I delivered. We did multiple takes of just that moment. And then the one about the plastic surgeon, no, I don't think I like prepared to say that. That's just, I think that's actually something I've said in my real life because I believe it's true to some degree. I just remember this one mask that I used to wear, like had like a wire, and we would leave like an indent in my nose, and I remember it like being like sore at times. So I think maybe it could have actually changed the shape of my nose. I stand by that. They just partnered with us on the distribution with Giant Pictures, which is their new distribution label. We produced it all independently ourselves. But I actually have worked with Tribeca since I graduated college. My very first job in 2009 was an intern at Tribeca Film Festival, and I've worked with them like sporadically over the course of the last 12 years. So I have a great relationship with Tribeca, and it's very full circle now for my very first film to be distributed in partnership with them. And I just really respect and admire what they do and how they, you know, foster new voices and, you know, new generations of storytellers. And I'm excited. And I think that the partnership, you know, it's mutually beneficial. I think that since it's a newer like endeavor for them, I think this could be a really exciting title. And yeah, I can't think of another company that I would rather like experience this with.
Sam.
Well,
Hi.
No filming. No, cameras down.
Edward, what do you think? Pop of color?
Latte is no foam.
What?
Us on the red carpet at Cannes.
I'm the hero. As far as the budget, to be transparent, you know, it is an indie film. You know, we can increase the per diem. Necesito direction.
If you do anything to interfere with this film, I swear to God, I will kill you.
Scott, Ellen, representative. Excuse me, representative.
I am proud to be a part of the Hamptons community, Judy.
Megan,
All right, thanks. Do you know how to get there?
you're gonna come to Tudo? You think that was nice, Jessica?
All he's doing is taking these measurements for the red carpet.
Shearling coat.
Yeah, we gotta do this.
Did you send them a list of the questions, Mona?
I need every issue of this.
No.
It's Sam. They've done an awful character assassination piece on me.
Ooh.
These are our auction winners, Richard and Dev. They bid on this experience. It's about perseverance, and it's about Don Julio Añejo, Ethiopian orphans,
CBD gummies.
Women. You know, I've worked with Tribeca for many years. I'm very, you know, friendly with Bob and Janie.
Oh my God! Hi. Alan, thank you for being here. Oh,
To Scream, the musical, the documentary.
Whatever it is.
What do you mean, whatever it is? Like, you know what it is.
Some fakakta movie.
all right, let's do this, guys. Let's have fun.